Hi, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I believe this is now technically our fourth week of school, but like we had the holiday, so for me, I don't know. That always messes with me a little bit. So regardless, happy first month. I hope everybody is able to balance everything. I have gotten a few messages for support or caught a mistake I may have made. I again encourage you to please reach out. I will be shortly putting up our first non-mandatory meeting, but I will say it again. If you can't make it, not a problem. Please just let me know. We can make up and we can set up some office hours. So I do have a couple windows open, and there's a reason for that. So really, I kind of call all of my, except for the first one that was 40 minutes, mini lectures because I kind of combine things together. And let me kind of explain a little bit of what I mean by that. So for example, today's lecture is this one. This is where you're going to find it once I download it. And what is it going to be on? Well, it says introduction to the NCLEX exam, practice questions, and midterm. But then here it says work-life balance, letting go, and then I'm doing another lecture. So there was another one, actually. My apologies. Just one moment here. It was about integrity. That was what I wanted to do it on, actually. Um, there it is. Okay, so this is what I mean. This is actually going to be different. This one I am just going to put the lecture. There you go. Hello. It's been a long week. So yes, it's going to be right here. And it's up to you. I mean, if you listen well, there is usually something attached to the homework for you to hopefully not just speed through. I know that we can just speed through and make my voice super fast, but in my personal opinion, somebody that's going into this type of field, we're taking this seriously. And I'm trying to help you get in. And things that I'm telling you, preparation and this, by the way, is part of, I'm lecturing now. I don't like to do it like piece by piece by piece. Yes, of course, we are talking about these things up here, like right here. However, I'm going to add in a few extra things. So I know as when I was trying to get into the nursing program, and I'm like, okay, how do I have a 4.0 when I'm not in? And it was extremely frustrating. And you don't have to have a 4.0. And that was not an egotistical statement either. I was working hard. I'm like, oh my God, why am I not getting in? And it was lottery, as I mentioned last time. And then Mission College does it a little bit different, but I was still waitlisted because they do it even a little bit more different. And if you want to know what that means, it basically has to do with like taking classes like this because they take you off points. I mean, not grades. It's off points, and the classes you've taken, and of course, you have to pass the class. So, if you have more questions about that, we can talk about like how you get in. But the more classes that you can take, like this, medication calculation, health and wellness, classes like that. If you have a job, working at a dental office in the front. I mean, we've counted that before. I used to do the applications. So unless I change that, those are all points. And depending on whoever's with you at that time, it can be hit or miss. I mean, I've seen points of an 8 get in, and I've seen points of people that have come up with, I think the highest was a 21 or a 22. It just depends. And it doesn't mean someone's better than somebody else. It just means I went to De Anza for all my stuff, so we didn't have these classes, right? Okay. So with that said, I wanted to bring that up. So if you did have more questions, that's usually a big topic in office hours and in our non-mandatory meetings. So I do have little cheat sheet notes. I like how this is about cheating, just to make sure. Okay, so what I want to talk about first is this, and I would say that this is a big part of nursing when somebody gets into the program. That is, I mean, it's kind of the first month. Like I probably have already said, you're just trying to figure out where am I supposed to be, what time, who's this instructor, who's that instructor, what is going on. And it does. I would say it takes about, I mean, everyone's different, but it takes time. I mean, you're starting clinical, you're doing this, you're going to orientations, you're trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to fit in lunch? And trust me, we make sure we make sure on those days that you have a lunch. And like I had mentioned, it's always before my class because apparently I keep you awake. That's the word on the street. Sorry, my phone has never rang more, I think, in my life than since I've been trying to like get this together. So back to basically the test strategies. I think the videos are really good. There's some videos later on too, and now if you didn't watch them, you didn't watch them. So now this is my part, and I hope you did. But now this is my part coming in to give you an example, and I think it's so helpful because I went to nursing school. I was there. I was at Mission College, and I mean, many other schools are very similar. Of course, there's going to be differences, right? But like my fiance goes to Hartnell, I used to teach there for just a little bit to help out. Not well, you can't. Just so you know, you can't date down your students. But it was before I had met him. But there are some things that are different and different experiences, but for the most part, it's clinical. And I will go through like a typical like schedule of what your schedule will look like. I know you can look it up online, but I will also give you context and some background on that. So let's say you're taking a history class, and you're taking a history class. A lot of it is, okay, this happened in, I don't want to name anything specific, not because I don't know, I just don't want to. I don't know you guys very well, so I don't want to offend any, I don't know anyone's triggers or whatnot. So let's say it's more regurgitation kind of, right? It's not understanding. So let me put this into context for you. So it's kind of like, hey, this happened in this. Okay, I read my test questions, I get that, and I mark my little, we don't use Scantrons. You do all your tests on a computer. Usually one that is provided for you with a lockdown browser. If not, then we have you do a lockdown browser. So that we do everything possible to help cheating not happen, because when you, unfortunately, sometimes, students that, it's just so sad. It's so sad to see that anxiety take over one question getting kicked out of a program because your anxiety can take over. Now, in nursing, it's a little bit different. So the main thing that I have always said with test strategies, or just testing in general, the difference would be this for nursing, which would be, okay, I know the information. I'm just going to give a simplistic example. I know blood pressure's changed. We want it to be lower than 120/80, but we're just going to use that for now. 120/80. Okay, so if we know that information, so it's about it's knowing the information, having the information in your mind, and then being able to read a question about a situation or scenario, and then you have to figure out, well, what's going on with this patient. So, for example, let's say we have a patient who has orthostatic hypotension. That means that basically when they get up, I'm trying to not make this long here. That's why I'm not giving all the details, and that's not what this is about. If my patient got up and I noticed that they're, grabbing the table and they're like, my first question I would ask is, are you dizzy? So that's already showing that I'm using critical thinking. So it's about utilizing the information that I know because I studied. I understand what's happening potentially in the body, the pathophysiology, all of that stuff. And it can mix in with medications, all this stuff. You take all that information that's crammed in your brain, and then hopefully the correct questions to ask, because then when you need to call the physician, PA, MP, you're going to be able to give what we call SBAR. We won't go over that, but I'm going to ask my patient right away, are you feeling dizzy? Of course, then I'm going to help them so they don't fall. And let's just say yes, because this is orthostatic hypotension, meaning your blood pressure is dropping very, very fast as this individual is standing up. So, okay, usually that is caused by dehydration. So do you see what I'm saying? I know what blood pressure is. So what do you think my next step is going to be? If the patient's not in complete distress, I'm going to take their blood pressure. So I'm going to take their blood pressure, get a blood pressure, because we always want to assess first. Because if I call or I, reach out for help from, one of the prescribers, or we have one of our mid clinicians, let's say that, okay, like an MP, and don't have that information, they're not going to know what to tell you to do or how to help that, right? So basically, you are that person. You're with the patient the most. So that's an example of the kind of the differences, and you learn, because on your NCLEX exam that you will take, which I will make a whole other video on, because that's very important, because that's how you pass and get your license. I will make a whole other thing about that, what it is, how they test, and I believe I said this already, but I used to work for them, so I used to teach how to do the test. And if you get in and you're in my class, I will give you tips and tricks along with that as well, which will hopefully be helpful for you. So it's basically, and maybe you've heard this before, two answers are always right. So there's this funny meme where there's 4 oranges. They look exactly the same. And what does it ask? It says something about which one is, it's something to the point of which one looks most like an orange, but they're all like literally identical. So it's kind of a nursing joke, and a nursing student definitely a joke, because it usually comes down to where there's 2 questions and you have to depict what in that question and what in that potential answer is the key. What is the difference and why? We will help you learn that. And so, yeah, so I just wanted to make sure to mention that is different. So watching these testing strategies, and you're all going to be different. Some people like flashcards. I love flashcards. I tried the iPad thing. It didn't work for me. It just didn't. We're all different. I'm a paper and pen and color, and that's who you are. And you use what works. Try different things. You'll learn things from your peers and your instructors as well. It's really cool. So, okay, with that said, so like study tips, that's basically what that is. Let me just look before I go to cheating and integrity here. talk about? Study tips, calculation. Okay, perfect. All right. So yeah, like I said, this is a mini lecture. Wrapping it up. I really try to keep these, again, as short as I can so that you will listen to them because they really are important. And students have said, and I mean, they're already in the program, so I don't think they're just saying it just to say it, that it's been helpful. Because again, I just felt lost out in the world. I'm just out in the ocean. Help. Like, I have no idea what's happening. Somebody help me. And that's not a good feeling. So cheating and integrity, huge, huge, huge. We've already said this. If you get caught cheating, that's plagiarizing. That's Apple Watch. You're wearing an Apple Watch during an exam. I mean, we collect your phones. This is no joke. I'm just going to be straight up here. We're done. We're done. It has been, we had about a 2-year period where it was pretty bad. And then it passes down to the other semesters. I mean, it was getting ridiculous. I mean, okay. You're going to lose 2 points. You got to let it go. If you fall below 75%, yes, you will be put on, I will get the word down, but it's a way for us to support you. There's 3 levels. We'll talk about that too. Don't worry, on another day. And it's not supposed to scare you. It's there to support you. And they can go away. There is an end date. So we'll talk more about that later. But it's not worth it. It's just not. It's not. And the integrity part of that is huge because what's going to happen when you're in clinical and you've been cheating because you have to work full time, which we don't recommend, but we still have students that are in the program. Yeah, right now they're doing, I mean, they're kicking, right? They're doing well, and we have a lovely cohort. I'm very much enjoying them. But what's going to happen halfway through, you're going to burn out. And I understand that not everybody has that financial security, but this is one thing I always like to say as well. Start to plan now. And that's usually lifestyle balance. I'll talk about that, but start planning now. Think about what's going to happen if I get in, and I have twins and I just gave birth. Or what if you get in and you're pregnant? That's okay. That's fine. But you're going to be tired. I mean, from what I heard, it causes a lot of lethargy. I mean, it's exhausting, but you can still do it. So please, if I can give that to you, the cheating and integrity are huge. I think we get so caught up in our brain that it's tunnel vision. I have to get an A. I have to do this. I have to do this. If I don't do this, now I'm going to be put on a level. So what? If you're going to be put on a level for anything, be put on a level for your grade. And I'm not saying all your grades, okay? All of your 5 to 7 classes, or depending on which semester. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're going to be put on one, because it's literally, okay, this is what I'm having trouble with. The instructor helps you. There's an end date there. And then once, boom, usually, this is just in my class, from my experience, usually I won't even put you on, it's not called on a level. I'm so sorry. It's because that's not we want it to be a supportive and not a punitive thing, which I very much agree with, but I will wait until I grade, and I'm a fast grader. I like you to know your grade so that, because you might fall below and get a 73, but all of a sudden, boom, after I grade this stuff, now you have a 76.7. So I don't have to put you on a level, right? So anyway, I think you get what I'm putting down here. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention is your calculations exam and respect. So number 1, nursing school is stressful. I think we all are aware of this. Nursing school it's stressful, and you're going to become like a big family. Of course, there's cliques and this and that, but you're together a lot. You're in clinical for 9 hours together. Split up into 3 groups. You're in classes together. You go to the lab together. You're stressed. You're tired. I also want to say it is one of the funnest times of my life. I absolutely loved it. I'm getting a little tired now. I'm almost done finally for my DMP, but wow, yeah. So with that said, is try to if you can, do your best to enjoy it, but also respect is huge. And I did want to share this. We've literally had a student, and this doesn't happen much, but I mean, we build I'm a storyteller. We actually had a student get in, up into, we had a student get up in an instructor space because there was a miscommunication. That's happened more than once. The last time it happened, I happened to be there, and I'm like, hello, I gotta go teach. And I just kind of got in between. So I'm like, I'd rather get hit if someone's gonna get, it's just, these things happen. So self-care is very important. I hope I'm not scaring you, but I'm just trying to put that out there, that how important respect is. And you would think this wouldn't even have to be a conversation, right? I know, at least for myself, and I've not really heard anything from anything in the program, but our instructors, it's give and take. And yes, if you are disrespectful, that's another reason that you can potentially have something. We need something in writing to say, okay, I'm going to work on this or I'm going to work on that kind of thing. So we really do try to work with you, and we will talk more about, like I said, about the levels later. So don't yell at your instructor. I'm like, oh my god, the audacity! I would never. I would never yell at my student unless it was like I'm trying to like help them because the patient's about to like, because I teach mental health, you know. Anyway, okay. Last thing here is the calculations exam. So calculations exam, first semester, you have 3 tries and 2 tests. So the first test is 10 questions on PO medications. And then about a month later, you take 10 more questions on injections. You must get 100% on both of those. If you do not, unfortunately, you will be asked to leave the program. You can come back. The only reason you cannot come back into the program, remember the 2 reasons: safety. If you did something unsafe at clinical, that's usually where it's the unsafe stuff, and cheating. So, with that said, basically, sorry, I have an eyelash on my eye. That's like a paper cut, right? So, sorry, I lost my train of thought here. Calculations. Okay. So basically, I know you're probably all like, oh my god, clean your desktop. I know. I'm getting there. There's a lot. Okay, yes, I like Big Bang Theory. Okay, we're getting to know each other a little bit here. Oh, don't read that. Okay, so I'm just going to end this with basically saying, okay, so calculations exam. I have it in my curriculum, but again, this is not a calculations exam class. You do practice. We give practice sheets. You guys practice together. You have a whole amount of time to get ready for it. You cannot pass medications, and it always needs to be with your instructor. They'll go over all this until you pass the calculations exam. So if you pass the PO exam, you cannot give insulin because you pass PO. So you can only give medications by mouth. All of this will be explained. You get 3 tries. You take it once a week. The instructor will sit down with you, help you. And I will say this test has been much updated, much more, I don't want to say easy. It's put together really, really well. And we don't want you not to be there. We're not going to give you a harder test after the first one. Like, let's give them a harder one and see if that is not, no. And I'm not going to say we're going to give you an easier one. maybe it's not easier, but I can't remember the last time. It's been years since that has happened. Then once you get to second and third, you just take one test, first week of school on simulation day, and that's combined 10 questions of PO and injections. So with all of that said, I just wanted to give that information. I'm going to get that uploaded there. As you can see, we have a couple mini lectures coming up, and I will continue doing that. Again, please reach out if you need anything, and I appreciate the work that's been turned in. It's been good quality work. I will say, usually around this time, I would say probably week 6, people think that I just automatically give you full credit, and they might kind of unintentionally take advantage of that. That's not the case. So if I kind of start to see some slacking on what I interpret as slacking, meaning the objectives are not being met, I will lower the grade. And, but I usually don't have that problem. I mean, you guys are really good. You want to be here. I mean, this is what you want to do. It's your dream, right? So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to let you go. I'm here if you need me. And I hope, again, that you're having a good beginning to your semester. Just going to close this off here. And as I always say, let me know if you need anything. And I'll be in touch soon with the first non-mandatory meeting. All right. Thank you so very much. I appreciate all of you.